Joined by Marty Biron. Marty, the hype train for Patrik Laine has officially left the station. The crowd at the Bell Center was electric on Monday night. And then after the game, Marty St. Louis said the reception for Laine reminded him just a little of what he saw growing up as a kid and watching the crowd react to Guy Lafleur. Now, nobody is coming anywhere near comparing Laine to Lafleur. But what do you think of the crowd's reaction and St. Louis' post-game comments about Laine?
Well, I love it, right? Because the Montreal Canadiens fans are trying to support a player that, first of all, is new to their team, and two, needs that support. Like, it hasn't been easy for Patrik Laine over the last few years. You know, he had some success early with the Winnipeg Jets, 36 goals, 44 goals, and then it kind of dropped off. So they're welcoming Patrik Laine with open arms, but it is one rush, one moment in a preseason game. Like, let's wait and see how that goes. But I also know, Gino, that playing against the Montreal Canadiens for years, they love that underdog stories, right? I remember when, Kovalev came to Montreal. It was later in his career, but just the little flashes that we would give them, and they just jumped right out of their seat. The big booming shot of Sheldon Surrey, they came out of their seats for that as well. So they love to welcome somebody new in and cheer them on until, well, if you cheer too long and there's no results, then it's a different story.
Yeah, they desperately want something to cheer for right now. And right now, Laine's that target. He had a number of chances, but didn't finish. He was disappointed, but said after the game, you can't win the Rocket in the preseason. This is a player that only scored 66 goals total, Marty, over the last 5 years. Matthews had more than that last year alone. Is even joking about the Rocket just adding more fuel to this enormous fire of expectations?
Well, I mean, he's a goal scorer. So, yeah, if you're a goal scorer, the trophy that you're looking at is the Rocket Richard Trophy to the best goal scorer in the National Hockey League. But Laine is not in the conversation right now. But look, he did score 44 goals his second year. And with, enough playing time, and if he plays 82 games, there's not saying that he can't get to 35, 40 goals. I don't expect him to get to that point. But just to see Laine loving to play hockey again, and playing in a big spotlight like Montreal, because we all know that Laine over the last few years has kind of disappeared in Columbus, even his last 2 years with Winnipeg, kind of disappeared from the spotlight. But look back to his draft year when he was a prospect. He and Austin Matthews, 1-2. Like, he performed so well at the World Juniors, performed so well at the World Championship under the bright lights and the big spotlights and all the scrutiny from the scouts. And I think he's going to love that aspect of playing in Montreal. Now, the Rocket, let's put that aside. If I was a goalie, even if I'm 47 years old and I was in the NHL, I'd say, oh, the Vezina Trophy, because that's a trophy for the goalies. That is a trophy for the goal scorer. That's what Laine is. So I see why he's saying that, but let's not jump to conclusion here. I think if Laine ends up with over 30 goals this year, it will be a success story for the Montreal Canadiens and Patrik Laine.
All right, you've thrown out a couple of numbers there. I want to pin you down a little bit. Laine's career high was 44 back in 2018. How many do you think he scores his first year as a Hab?
I think he gets just shy of 30 goals. I think 28, 29 goals would be really good. But you have to also understand that I think Suzuki is going to score a ton for the Montreal Canadiens. Cole Caulfield should score close to 40 for the Canadiens. Slafkovsky, with the second half that he had last season, can he get to 30 goals or more this year? Like, there's going to be a lot of goal scorers on that team. So where does Patrik Laine fit? Like, the Montreal Canadiens cannot have 4 35-plus goal scorers. If they do, well, let's talk playoffs. And I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are talking playoffs right now. But if Laine ends up with 28 goals, maybe 25 assists, you're looking at 54 points, 53 points or so. I think this is still a good step into his first year with the Montreal Canadiens. We don't have to worry about his cap hit. Like, I know $8.7 million for the next 2 years. A guy 8'7" should be getting you 70, 75 points a year. But Montreal doesn't have to worry about the cap hit. Laine shouldn't measure himself to his cap hit. Just get on the ice, love playing hockey, score some goals, and let's see where it goes. So I'm saying 28 goals, 53, 54 points. Like, that's pretty good for me.
If he gets 28, it would be huge for the Habs. For perspective, only 3 Habs scored 20 last year. As you mentioned, Nick Suzuki with 33, Cole Caulfield 28, and Juraj Slafkovsky scored 20 right on the number.